Welcome to Kick Push's second audio interview featuring House of Harm, an alternative pop band from Boston. They blend dance with melancholy and atmosphere. And after you finish with this interview, take a moment to add these guys to your daily playlist. These guys slap. All right. I put these guys in my nighttime drive playlist. I put it in my new wave playlist, especially Vicious Pastimes, the lead single off their latest album. Went straight to my new wave playlist. All right, like it just fits that vibe of the sort of the disco feel, atmospheric feel. Even though it's got a little bit of melancholy, it's still something I want to dance to with my boys. This is Otto from Kick Push, relearning how to socialize after a year of COVID lockdown with House of Harm.
First song I heard was Coming of Age, right? And I heard it, and my buddy, we both listened to The Wake. Are you guys familiar?
Love The Wake, yeah.
Yeah, we were big fans of The Wake, and he played me a song. I was like, is this like one of their B-sides? And I'm like, what? Like, it doesn't really sound like them. And he's like, no, bro, it's just like, this is like new hit band. It's called House of Harm, Coming of Age, bro. And I listened, and the second I heard Michael go, it's a coming of age, I was like, I'm hooked. Like, this is ridiculous, bro. Like, what I really like about your music, I'd say like the main selling point for me is when my issue with like most you guys would consider yourself like gothic, right? Like, so on the gothy side of things, like dark waves, like synth, new wave stuff.
I think it's like something like labels is something that you have to live with. Obviously, it doesn't bother me by any means. It's something, yeah. Like we try not to like, put ourselves in a corner by any means. Obviously, people are going to say it sounds like this, it sounds like that, which is fine. You know what I mean? It doesn't change anything about me. It's different from your own personal perspective, because like I know, what kind of band we are. I know what kind of band we can be, and it's fine if people want to kind of label us this, but it doesn't mean necessarily like we're. I think if we started out the band saying, hey, we're gonna be a band that sounds like this, and we're gonna fit this mold, it doesn't really translate well. We just kind of focus on writing good songs. You know what I mean? And I think that's what kind of, if we were kind of doing the song and dance, like, hey, we're gonna be a post-punk goth band, and that kind of went into the band with that in our mind. The songs wouldn't be the songs, you know what I mean? We'd be thinking about other things. We try to just like make the songs that we want to, make, and then, the rest falls into place. Obviously our sound palette can kind of dictate how people are going to categorize us, but at the end of the day, it's just, there's songs,
See, I have a big brain as well, because I predicted that you would say something like that, because I totally understand. I wouldn't want to box myself into a corner with labels and like with certain like sounds, but like, what would you describe yourself if not what I just described you guys as? Like, how would you guys want to be how would you want people to describe you? Because I mean, what else do you have?
Well, that's fine too. I'm not saying it doesn't really bother me when people say that by any means. It's not like it annoys me or anything. I wouldn't want to say like, don't call us that, whatever. I think we just kind of write, we're like alternative pop songs with like maybe use synth and stuff like that, with like a post-punk type of feel, with that are really in tune with emotions, I guess. It's all about emotion for me, trying to get that out more so than even the sound palette. But
I get pleasure when people say that we write good pop music. I really enjoy that too, because that's like a huge compliment to me, because like it's kind of a hard thing to write a really good pop song, and I think that's it's high praise whenever I hear that. So I wouldn't mind someone categorizing us as just pop, in my opinion, or I don't know.
I wouldn't argue with that at all, because what I was about to say before I went off on the goth tangent was, you guys, it's melancholy music. Like it's songs about not really like incredibly upbeat themes sometimes, but it doesn't make me feel sad. Like, I could still have a great time listening to this kind of music. And I like yesterday, actually, I went to this local mall that I go to, and I had my JBL, and I was playing what was it, like Isolator. I was playing Isolator on my speaker, and I was asking people what they thought of it. And so this small group of girls, like I think like maybe like late high school, they were like, it kind of sounds like Harry Styles. It kind of sounds like Harry Styles. So there's definitely that pop element to it, because if there wasn't, they'd be weirded out. I mean, you talk to the average person and you show them like a real goth song, like for example, like Bauhaus or something, they're like, what is
Yeah.
what is this damn weird vampire cult shit? But no, like you guys balance that line between like the underground scene, like goth and stuff, and synth wave and dark wave, all those tags that you guys put, and pop music.
Yeah. I think that's what does it for me. You know, that's why we get satisfaction. Like, you know, writing a kind of I like songs that have a hook and get stuck in your head, but also have that kind of, you know, that are deep as well and have that emotional kind of impact. And, you know, I don't like the songs to be too obvious. You know what I mean? Like, kind of have to think about it a little bit. I think that's the songs that I like personally. So that's what I like to kind of translate onto music, you know.
I also showed I was playing Vicious Pastimes right before this, and I played it for my little sister, right? She's in elementary school. And I was like, what comes to your mind when you hear this song? And she was liking it. She was like doing a little dance of it. I was like, what are a couple words to describe it? And she said, good memories. Which I thought was interesting, because the song Vicious Pastimes about, you know, vicious pastimes, equating it with good memories. You know, I thought that was incredibly interesting, because there's something to be said about the sound that you guys have. It's not depressing, it's upbeat.
Yeah, for sure.
So I also someone also said on a different I don't know if it was an interview, maybe just like a description of you guys, that you guys kind of have like a C86 like indie pop, like not something on the because what I took from that was that, like, when I think of goth music, that's usually in a playlist of mine where I would listen to at night, you know, something gloomy that fits like the dark sky. But like yesterday when I went out to the mall, it was 3 o'clock in the day, you know, it was but and it fit. It could have gone either way. So like that balance, how did you guys go about achieving that balance? Was it, like you said, how wanting to make a pop song instead of wanting to make like a post-punk synth song?
Well, it's different too, because sometimes you're just like, hey, I have a song idea, or we'll just kind of just start messing around, and, you know, for every one good song we'll make 30 other ones that we just scrap, right? You know what I mean? So it's definitely a lot of trial and error, and you stumble upon things a lot, you know, if you can kind of get in the zone. Sometimes you'll know, you know, sometimes we'll spend 3 hours in a song and say, this is shit, you know, and then move on and never listen to it again. Sometimes it'll be 10 minutes into the session where we have something here, like we know we have something really good here. So you kind of just stumble upon it, really, just, you know.
So how's the writing process for you guys, like particularly in like Vicious Pastimes, for example? Like, are you guys more like the jamming type of like just like vibing and like trying out different riffs, or do you guys sort of do it on your own, write your own individual parts?
It's kind of a mixture of everything, really. There's no real kind of set rule book, but our way of jamming, we do kind of jam like that, but it's a little bit different than a traditional band, because we basically write while recording. So it's like we'll kind of, you know, work on a part, and then we'll kind of jam together, but it's not like, you know, we're in a room, you know, us playing each our individual instruments, and then also by the end of the day we have a song, we'll be recording it and kind of, you know, all, you know, switching roles as far as who's playing what, and, you know, who's trying to get their idea out. Sometimes I'll be playing guitar, but I'm trying to get Tyler's idea out, what he hears.
Yeah.
So he'll be like, oh, let's try it like this way type of thing, because it might be building off of a riff that I came up with, but I was stuck on it, and Tyler might say, hey, try playing it like this, and kind of getting his idea out, but through me. Or sometimes it could be anything, really.
We all kind of like produce each other, like it's and we all kind of have like recording knowledge about like computers and stuff like that. So it's like one of us is on the computer recording what the other two are doing, or it's like two of us are on the computer recording what Mike's doing or what Cooper's doing. It's like it can be like any of those things. Yeah, because we don't have like a drummer to like jam to or anything like that. So it's like when we make the drum part, we got to kind of keep going and like kind of like make it adhere to that like one drum part or something like that generally, or I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so even though you guys have your own respective parts during live shows and all that, you guys all contribute to each other's songwriting process.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you guys like feed off each other's energy. Like, was it easy to sort of go from what was it, like Funeral Advantage to coming like to House of Harm? Was like how was that transition?
It wasn't it wasn't very easy, because I'd been writing by myself for like 7 years or something like that, just like by myself, and refusing to let anyone in on the process. And then one day I think Mike just came, like we were just hanging out. He's like, let's try this idea out really quick. And I was like, just helping him record one of his ideas. And I was like, well, what if you tried this way? Like kind of like molding myself into like, well, what would serve this song best? Not what would make me happy. It's like, what would serve the song best? What would make the best song here? Not like, and kind of pushing my ego aside, which was kind of like, it was difficult to do at first, but then I realized it was way more rewarding once that actually works out. And once we had a couple of the songs on Vicious Pastimes, I was like, yeah, this is actually like working out really, really well for me. And like, it's so much more rewarding, like having like a sort of like I was about to say a three-way, having like a three-way input process rather than just like a singular thing. I guess it's any good. Like it's like we're all each other's cheerleaders as well. So like if Cooper like nails a huge like really intricate guitar part, me and Mike are losing our minds over. We're like, yeah, keep going with that. Yeah.
Mike says a lyric and we're like,
yeah. Like it's the energy is insane. It's funny because my partner that I live with, she records music herself, and she's like, lately she's like, I only like recording music when you guys are in the studio recording music because it like the energy in the air is like so like weird and creative. Like I can feel it out in the living room, so I want to like go record myself. It's really strange. It's a beautiful thing though.
Strange how? Like, do you think that it's not something that most people have? Like that camaraderie in the studio?
I think we've all worked with other people who just work, their process is different, and this works the best for us.
Yeah, I think if we didn't have it, we wouldn't do it. You know, I wake up at, you know, first thing in the morning. I can't wait to come, and we record, you know, once or twice a week. That's what we've been doing for the last few months, and it's like my favorite day of the week, and you know, I can't wait to go do it. I think we know each other well enough now too, where we know, say, like when to push something, when to lay off something, when it's like, you know, it takes a lot of patience, obviously, the way we write and record, because you kind of want to get everyone's idea out there. So even if it's a song that we're all working on, we might try it this way and then try it that way, whatever. You kind of have to have patience with each other. But we know each other well enough too, where it's like, hey, I have to get this idea right now. I have to go with this. And you say, you know, all right, let's just go with that full force, because you can kind of feel it. But
okay. But on those instances, in those times where you aren't able to immediately put your ideas into action, you know, like, cause I think you guys peg me as the type that like that get inspired and immediately take it to the studio, and you guys don't have time to dilly dally. You guys don't have time to sit on it. Like, you got to go straight to the studio. So like for those times, like when you don't have access to a guitar or like your drum machine or your synth, what do you guys do to, you know, sort of archive those ideas?
You just open your phone and hit record, and then try to do the best you can.
You guys just hum into your phone.
Yeah. There's so many recordings of us, you know, driving in our car or something, and you hear like traffic in the background, and it's us humming something. and like you seem ridiculous, and I had a lot of fear even showing, you know, my recordings on my phone to these guys, and then now it's like those are some of our best ideas that have turned into some of our best songs. So. That's true.
And we have kind of like a riff bank that we can choose from too. Do like a
riff bank.
I don't know why it's so
you guys pull a lever and it just gives you a random guitar riff or like moan.
We have various levels of recording. Like I have that, you know, just in my room, I have a very small primitive type of thing that just, you know, I can record bass and drums and a guitar, and I'll do a bunch of 30-second little song ideas and move on to the next one. So I know when we get here, if we're stuck on something, we can go back and say, all right, we have these 50 ideas to choose from, these all little riffs that aren't songs yet. So we'll kind of stockpile in that way, but also just try new stuff. We can be pulled from anywhere really, but
we all have our own studios.
Yeah,
able to.
You guys have your own studios. Oh, wow. Okay, so do you guys all take part in the production process?
Absolutely. Big time. That's super important. Yeah.
Interesting, because I mean, when I think of like production and like studio engineers, I get this weight on my shoulders, thinking like wow, that must take like a lot of practice to make something sound good. I mean, was it easy? Was there like a huge learning curve with that?
It's trial and error, really. Just kind of what sounds good, what doesn't sound good, and then, you know, learning from your mistakes and applying it to new songs and kind of just evolving from there. Yeah. We've been doing it for long enough with this setup for a while. Our home recordings sound really, really good. Yeah. But it just takes, not that it was never to the point where our home recordings were so bad that it was frustrating. It just took a while of just like trial and error and spending, you know, 13 hours plus in one room together for, you know, every single week for years, more than a year at this point, you know, just doing it over and over again, where you kind of slowly pick up stuff and It's a lot of fun though. It's rewarding.
We're all trying to make each other better too. So
Yeah.
when we're working on a song, you know, Tyler will tell me to do things not because he wants them done, but because like he knows something that'll help the song. And
It's
then
like a shortcut. Like, hey,
Yeah.
by the way, you can change that color.
you can
by-
change like that. And I'm like, oh, and then next time he's on the computer, you know, we're sharing stuff. So like, you know, after years, like you said, of doing that, we're pretty sharp on our toes
Yeah.
as far as working together as a group.
Do you ever see that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry and George they have to team up because together they're about the effectiveness of one boyfriend together, but like
They're only half a boyfriend.
exactly. So if you get three of us together, we're about as good as one really good producer.
really good producer
Yeah.
together.
One really good producer. So you guys are like a force. Like what happens when one of you isn't there? Do you feel like there's like a void?
I mean,
Depends.
yeah.
We know when to like leave something alone. It's like
Yeah.
say, hey, that's a part that Cooper can do that. We're not going to waste time on doing that or something like that. But we have enough work to keep us busy as far as songs go. So and we don't run into that problem too often. But yeah, that can definitely happen for sure.
All right. What were you guys' music taste in high school? I'm curious because you guys have ended up in it's a beautiful mixture of sounds, but like how did you guys arrive there? What was your guys' music taste in high school?
I like a lot of the dark stuff, post-punk stuff, but a lot of like post-punk revival stuff too, or 2000s Interpol stuff like that. Stuff with emotion, but more of a pop, sensibility about it.
Oh, you guys do have a big brain. You called it post-punk revival. You didn't just call it post-punk.
I don't need to be to sound like a fucking nerd when I say that, but it's just
Hey, no, it's okay. I'm a nerd with you, bro. Like just let it happen. Post-punk revival, synth heavy, neo, Greco. Just throw all the adjectives you can.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess it's stuff like that. I listened to a lot of Cure, obviously.
Obviously, really. Couldn't tell. I mean, what about you guys? Because I heard from him, but what about you two? I know Cooper. I saw on your Spotify. What was it? Is it Shy Talk? Yeah, I saw on the playlist you have the names. You like the names. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the names as well.
I found the names a couple years ago. I like the post-punk stuff. I was super into learning how to play guitar when I was in high school. I was like kind of obsessed. So most of the music I listened to back then was like guitar music. So
Hendrix.
like the big, rock stuff, Hendrix, but like a lot of folk musicians and jazz musicians and stuff. Like I was kind of like not a cool music person in high school. So, and then I found some post-punk stuff later and I guess that's where I'm at now.
So did you have any friends that shared your music taste, even though you thought you were kind of weird and offbeat?
Yeah, I was in like a rock, a shitty rock band and stuff, but like those kids, I wouldn't really hang out with them and listen to like solo folk guitar or like, I wasn't listening to the Byrds with my friends.
Why not, bro? The Byrds are lit.
I know. I don't know. I'm from Pennsylvania, so I kind of grew up in like a different time and place than these guys. But
I think they were the uncool ones, bro. Trust me. Like the Byrds. Anyone who shits on the Byrds is lying to themselves.
Sure.
It's a perfect just chillax band to just hang out with buddies with.
I'm curious what Tyler was gonna say.
Well, I listened to basically just whatever. I had an older brother, and so I basically just listened to whatever he would listen to, which is mainly like EDM, trance, and like black metal and Tool and stuff like that. So I was super into I was the only like high school. I don't want to date myself and tell you when I went to high school, but back then listening to black metal was like unheard of. Like no one had heard of black metal yet, and so I was listening to like a lot of that and like a lot of like trance, like Armin van Buuren and like DJ, like Tiesto and stuff like that. Like back like early 2004 Tiesto, and like I'm super into that stuff. So to this day,
Really?
but
So black metal.
yeah.
That's interesting because that
That doesn't come through in our music at all. I know that. I realize this.
It's a huge juxtaposition. Like you just like you don't expect going up to you guys and saying like, oh, what do you guys listen to? And they're like, oh, the stuff that sounds like nails on the chalkboard, and they were like black and white makeup and worship Satan. But
Yeah.
and then you continue to sing vicious pastimes. It just doesn't line up. But that's
If you
interesting.
ask any of those like black metal guys, like we have like a lot of like I think we have not a lot of crossover or anything like that. But if you ask any of those guys, like if they like a song by The Cure, if they like Just Like Heaven by The Cure, or like if they like Coming of Age or something like that, they're gonna say yes. Like they're even like the hardest, burliest dude will like House of Harm, I feel, because like we have the songs. I feel like that's just like that's the main part of it, is like having the songs that resonate with like humans, not just like society, but a human, you know?
Oh, so even black metal stars that have a heart. That's interesting.
Absolutely. If you listen to that, I won't go off on a tear, but if you listen to the guy from Dark Throne, he loves talking about pop music. He's like a huge pop fan. He's
You know,
like,
he also loves Tiesto.
he loves trance music. So
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, maybe.
What do you think about the trance music? I never got into anything, but like, you know, having the big drops, stuff like that. It's like pretty emotional. You can feel it. So I don't think it's that far off, you know?
Trance music definitely has its place. Like when me and my buddies, when we're hanging out outside and it's just dark at night and we need something like background noise and we want to like do a couple jigs, couple of goofy dance moves, like with some with the drinks in our hand, you know, we'll put on some trance music. We'll put on some like Aphex Twin or like Underworld or something like that.
Yeah.
But I noticed that's a trend, you know, that's a trend on YouTube where like people get a hard on for metalheads that talk about their different music tastes because they can't wrap their head around them liking anything other than metal.
Look how look how different I am. I'm a metal guy, but I also like Carly Rae Jepsen and stuff like that.
There was one channel, these two metalheads, they get hundreds of thousands of views for just like reacting to alternative rap. Like they'll
That's
like
exploitative.
they'll listen to MF Doom and like like the reactions are just so anticlimactic. They'll be like, oh,
Like they psychoanalyze MF Doom for some reason.
that was a good rhyme. I'm waiting for the scream. Yeah, no, it's just it doesn't. I don't know. That's a weird trend. I never really got into.
I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it much. I don't talk about my trance or black metal background really because of conversations like that. I don't know. I don't feel like it. I feel like it's exploitative towards both.
I know people
alternative metal.
People approach music tastes like with like a how could you attitude, like you don't look like a black metal head. You don't look like a rave head, you know, like so like therefore I'm shocked and appalled that you listen to this.
Absolutely.
It's strange. So I'm guessing you don't go public with that. You kind of just sort of lay low with
I like to show my power level.
harness the power of Satan with your Dark Throne and all that. Yeah. So I want to ask, so because with like the music videos and like all that, like there's something to be said about not coming off awkward with your body language, right? And it's a very sort of like it's a very sort of melancholy mood, and I want to know, does it take confidence to be melancholy?
I think it takes confidence just to get in front of a camera and sing a song that you made, but I think like the videos, especially the performance parts, translate okay because we played so many like shows and stuff, and we're tight as a group, and kind of you have to
feel the song.
You have to either kind of, as far as like playing in front of people and coming up and being confident, you have to be confident in the songs in the band, or else it's not going to work at all. So I definitely have to, especially if you're going to sing or whatever, your brain has to make that switch where it's like you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it. So you kind of have to be like, fuck it, So you definitely need a lot of confidence just to do it, period, especially if you want to kind of get across the emotion of the song or anything like that. If you go in it with cold feet, that will translate, in the songs, it'll translate in the video, it'll translate, across the board. So you kind of definitely have to be confident in what you're doing and enough to just say, fuck it, I'm going to,
What's your mindset into going behind a camera? Like how do you prep yourself?
Just play the songs like we do, I guess. Nothing crazy. I mean, obviously we're not like a big, we don't have a lot of showmanship, and we're not, running around like,
I beg to differ. You guys have some swag on those music videos.
Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying. I think it's just like, but it's natural though, it's not like it's like forced. It's
the second you try to manufacture is the second that someone's going to pick up on that, and you'll completely lose them in the moment, I feel.
Yeah. I think even
so
like
you guys would...
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, even like for the Always video for the performance, that's just how we like, if you were to see us play a live show, that's what we do. So it's like very much like that, just kind of the natural movements. Like obviously if you're gonna go on stage and like sing and play music in front of people, you gotta have like a swagger about you, obviously. So So you don't want to overdo it. And do your spot.
Where did you get that so-called that swagger from? Like, did you like watch a lot of like live shows of different artists, or did you guys just sort of make it on your own and just sort of feel the vibe?
Songs, really, just all about the song. So
I think looking over on the stage and seeing your friend playing the guitar part that you wrote, and then like your other friends standing there singing the song, like that's all you just like immediately are like, this is awesome, this is so fun. And you see somebody in the crowd vibing to your song, like you don't need any more practice. You just you just power, you level up, as you said before.
Level up. That's amazing, because I see you guys, I see like all these different videos of you guys online live, like just that the lo-fi 480p toaster videos, recorded with the toaster videos of you guys playing like these songs, and you guys, it's just it comes off so natural. And I mean, I can't help but think as an audience member or something, just like how do they make it seem so natural? How are they so fearless on stage?
Yes, yeah. The only trick is there is no trick. It's genuine. So
you just got to stop caring, is what it is, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, was it difficult in the beginning? Were there like the first couple concerts where you got stiff, or like you maybe like jerked a knee wrong, or like winked at somebody, like what was it?
Three of those. No, I mean for sure anyone. I mean, it takes a little bit to get used to it, but you work out the fact that it's what you're doing is absurd. You're on stage in front of people and they paid to come see you sing the songs that you made at home. You got to just get past that, and then you get more comfortable. It always is experience.
Yeah, like I mean, everything that you guys have been talking about, like with music and like the cinematography and all the photography, like it just takes experience. All the production, it just takes
trial and error.
Trial and error.
We haven't like watched anything. We haven't played we haven't ruined too many shows or anything like that, and we haven't put out garbage where we regret. It's just just figuring out as you go along and just staying true to the the art you're presenting. If that's the main focus, the rest usually falls into place.
Yeah, no, I'm still understanding the trial and error process myself. Like getting this interview. I don't even know what to call it yet. Like you guys can easily just call yourself a band. Like I don't know what to call. I don't want to call myself a blog. Like I'm still going through the trial and error process myself, and trying to get the interview process right. So it's just it's interesting to hear other people's take on it and like what they're doing, and if it's really just the essence of trial and error.
Yeah, 100%. Even like what you said, like I don't even consider myself to be. I'm not a singer. I mean, by technicality I am, but I think we're all just songwriters, so it's funny how you even mentioned what to call it. Like we don't even call we're a band, but like I don't consider myself necessarily a singer or a guitarist or a keyboard player or anything like that. I just consider myself a songwriter.
Yeah, so you guys are just transcending all labels. You're just like we're people. Like not like if people go up to you and be like, oh, House of Harm, you're like, no, I'm just Michael. Like so like because I mean like what like Public Image Limited, they always refer to themselves as like a company. It was like a huge statement. So
like, for me, like I think I don't even care to like I don't know. I think we're the band, and we're the people in the band. That's what people view us, and that's completely fine by me. It's just like behind the scenes, things are we're just three individuals trying to make these songs. I don't think that everyone needs to know what happens behind the scenes. You know what I mean? But yeah.
What do you mean? Not everyone needs to know. Like what?
How you said like, oh, we're not House of Harm. Like, oh, my name is Michael, whatever. But
you want to give too much of yourself.
Yeah. We definitely kind of. I definitely don't like to give too much of myself away to fans or whatever. Not that I'm shielding this, whatever. But
there's definitely virtue in like allure, having a bit of mystery to yourself, especially with this kind of music. You're like, you listen to Vicious Passions, like you're like in a way you're like who, oh my god, who hurt this guy, and you're like you want to know more, you want to dig deeper, but you can't. So like that allure is keeping you attached to that song or something.
Yeah, I think if I was really outspoken and stuff like that, I think it would take away from the songs a bit, because I like to, even if I spoke about about the songs more, I think that kind of takes it away from the purpose. The purpose is like we made the songs we put it out there, it's it belongs to the people who listen to it. It's whatever they think it is, you know. I don't like to talk too much about myself or anything like that, because I just don't want it to take away from, you know, the art form, you know, because, you know, it would suck to be, you know, really outspoken, then people just associate the band with me as an individual or whatever, you know. I like people just listen to songs and, you know, don't have any kind of perception of who I am as a person, whatever. Just they can just think about the song, you know. I think that's the most important thing.
They can paste themselves kind of onto the lyrics if they need to.
Right. Yeah.
Or they can look into it as if like they're listening to Mike sing. It's really interesting. I think that's a really interesting part of it.
Yeah.
Pace themselves. So is that what you want? Is that like the intention for making these songs, is not to really convey yourselves, but really give someone a canvas for them to see themselves?
I don't think it's necessarily the intention. I think it's a positive thing that happens from it. I think the intention is, to be honest, just us as individuals wanting to make the song for ourselves. Because I think if we had anyone else in mind, it would kind of ruin the process, you know. So it's like, for me, these are the songs. This is like, I need to do this, you know. I need to for my own self first and foremost. Even if, you know, we record 100 songs this year and only 3 of them people get to listen to it, the fact that we made those 100 songs did something to me, you know, as an individual, and that's like the most important part. And I think just leaving it out there for people to interpret it how they want is the best thing for what it is. But when it comes down to it, the most important part of why we do it is for us as individuals, you know.
For us, so you do it for yourselves. What do you mean by that? Like,
just the process of
Like, this is just
you
fun.
kind of
Like,
when
this
you
is
make
fun for us.
I mean, when you make a song, you know, it does something to you. It kind of takes a weight off your shoulders. You know, it's in a way it's how it's. I wouldn't say it's how much the song is how I communicate to other people. It's more so how I communicate to myself, really. You know, at the end of the day.
How you communicate yourself. That's fantastic. That's something that rings in your ears right there. That communicate with yourself. That's okay. I gotta sit with that one for a second. Do you guys drink? You guys the party type?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We like to have fun.
Like put on some techno or some techno black metal and just go crazy.
Exactly.
For sure.
So do you guys all live together?
Yeah. Well, Cooper and I live over there, and then Tyler lives here. So half the band lives together.
What's over there? I'm not there. So
we live
Over there.
Boston.
We
all
all
like
live
100 feet. They live like 100 feet.
Yeah,
away.
we basically live right next to each other, but Cooper and I share an apartment, and then Tyler lives here. So what I meant to say is we're all 2 of us live together, but we're all very close to each other. You know, it's not like we live. Some bands operate when they live an hour away from each other or something like that, but we're very close proximity, so it's very helpful.
Did you guys live together prior to COVID?
Cooper and I have lived with each other for 6 years, something like that. We've always been roommates. So
Cool. So that wasn't an issue when it came to the band and all that. It was, you guys just sort of like, did you guys start it before or after having started living with each other?
Cooper and I had lived together.
We were living together
Yeah, we
already,
already.
yeah,
And we were playing in other bands and stuff, and then we kind of just said, all right, we're gonna do this full force.
And you already kind of lived close to us.
Yeah, and then we all lived in the city, and then for COVID, it was a little tough at the beginning because I mean Cooper and I lived together, so we could interact, but we couldn't see. We didn't see you for months.
A while, yeah.
And then now that things are obviously we're vaccinated and things are kind of opening up. We kind of just keep it. You know, we don't go. I don't even go to bars or restaurants or anything like that, like a lot of people do. I think that's kind of weird, but all we do is just, you know, we do our jobs and come here and record on Saturdays, and that's about it.
What's weird about the bars?
I think it's weird. It's just kind of like because you walk in with a mask and then you just like everyone just kind of takes them off. I just think it just seems a little bit bizarre to me.
Sucking a beer through a mask is difficult. I've tried it.
I think
you gotta get the right angle when you pour it on your face, you know.
Well, I think we just like I've gone because we used to go out all the time every weekend, and then now like being forced to not go out and just kind of like hang out at home. I'm just so used to that where it's just like why the fuck would I even want to go to a bar now? I think it's a lot of that to do with it too. I don't know.
But before the pandemic, you would go to bars, is what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What kind of bars would you frequent? I know there's different styles, different kinds of bars.
Anywhere that would allow us to be there.
Yeah.
Anywhere that didn't ban you yet.
We ideally we'd go to to see go to a music venue, whether they have like a DJ night or whatever, go there, and then if we're rolling with a wild crew, we try to get a spot that has a pool table in a large enough area that we can completely take it over and
We love
scare
it.
everyone else away, so we have our own area in there.
Our favorite thing to do is basically take over the entire ball.
Yeah, I mean, Boston is Boston. It's a college city, so there's a lot of
Closes at 2, yes.
there's a lot of sports bars, and there's a few, whatever. I think we probably spent a lot of time at random bars that you wouldn't expect. That's not like a cool, but just they're all right.
You find yourself at these places.
A pool table is good,
Yeah.
So what's a cool bar to you guys?
Well, I mean,
They're
cool
all
by
closed.
I guess other people's terms, but like
No,
rock and
but
roll.
by your
right
time,
now.
by your terms, what makes a bar cool to
Oh,
you?
cool. A
Great
pool
stuff.
table and tall boy PBRs for $2.
Yeah.
PBR, that's okay. That's what I'm saying. You guys really are in a college town if PBR is like the go-to there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you can't really front. PBR is like of all the light beers, it reigns king.
Where are you located?
Where am I located? I'm in SoCal.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
So here there's no discounts on drinks. There's nothing.
No happy
Yeah,
hour.
there's
no happy hour.
and because you guys have drink a lot of Modelo out there, assuming that's a pretty popular bar, popular drink rather.
Modelo, yeah, you see that at a lot of parties.
Yeah, because even when I think I went to LA like 2 years ago or something like that. And it was just Modelo everywhere. No one drinks Modelo out here really. It's weird. Everyone drinks like PBR out here and like Gansett, which is like an East Coast beer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, my buddy, he's saying right now, yeah, the big ones are Corona, Coors Light, Modelo, a lot of Spanish beers.
We drink a lot of Corona out here, but
We like
Tecate. I like
Tecate, yeah.
Tecate, really? Yeah, dude. Like Modelo and Tecate, like they have we have each of them have like 6 different flavors. Like people love them.
Tomato Tecate. I tried it and it tasted like throw up. It was gross.
No, yeah, Tecate, like it's in SoCal Tecate, it's got like a cheap connotation with it. It's because like the Mexican beer, Spanish beer, it's a really big thing in SoCal because of this large Hispanic population. But so certain ones have like a ghetto. They're ghetto associations. They're really not ghetto by any means, but like one of them would be Tecate, like for sure. And then, but like to them, like PBR is seen as like hoity-toity. Like PBR is like oh you posh college academic assholes. Like
see up here, PBR is like trailer park trash.
It's like
That's what they
trash.
consider.
It's
Yeah.
like garbage. Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy how that changes over there. Like
Yeah.
PBR definitely has like the collegiate associations over here. Like
Up here, it's like Bud Light is the college beer, but like PBR is like the
Or
trashy
Natty
beer.
Ice.
wait, Coors Light, really?
No, I'm sorry, Bud Light.
Bud Light.
Yeah, Bud Light is like the college go-to beer.
Bro beer.
What's the reception with like IPAs over there?
People fuck with it pretty heavy. There's a ton of breweries around
People
here
love
and
that
shit.
in Boston.
But I mean, if you're going out drinking, you don't really. I mean, no one's gonna drink fucking 10 IPAs.
10 IPAs will be on your ass.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but I know IPA is probably not the go-to party drink. You don't see many people your age or younger drinking IPAs if they're trying to have fun. It's usually
Definitely a beer culture around here though. There's like with the breweries and stuff like that. But
It's true.
they don't
What-
really get into that.
when I think of IPAs, I think of like sitting on like the front of your yacht and watching the sunset to like some to like early 70s like dad rock, like maybe like
James Taylor.
Yeah,
like
Steely
Paul
Dan.
McCartney or like Supertramp, something
Yeah.
along those lines. The IPA doesn't strike me as something you want to get at a bar. You want to get something light.
Yeah, for sure.
It's true.
So are you guys seeking mainstream success?
I would say that's not the ambition of the songs of the band by any means. I mean,
Okay,
obviously, we wanna
my
be-
apologies. I'm gonna rephrase that. Do you guys want mainstream success?
It's a fair question either way, but I think obviously we want to play to more people and more people to listen to the band like the band. I think it's obviously we have to draw the line is are you willing to kind of change the songs or whatever to achieve mainstream success? I mean, that's obviously we wouldn't be able to do that, but if the mainstream loved the songs we make, of course, that'd be great.
I think a lot of the musical opportunities that come with getting a little bit more success would be something to look forward to. So like
Recording in a nicer studio.
recording in
Yeah.
a nicer studio, having other musicians that are well respected that you appreciate play on your album or songwrite with, stuff like that is what is some of why I do it. Yeah.
And the most important thing is if the mainstream came to us rather than us go to the mainstream, that would be, you know. Perfect.
Oh, that's an important distinction. Yeah, you don't want to sell out any quirks you guys have to be as bland and radio friendly as possible.
Yeah, you just don't want to compromise, you know, your integrity of why you're doing it in the first place. As long as you stay true, that's if you go into the mainstream, that's great because you're doing what you want to do, and more people are liking it than you imagined or whatever. But if you know, you're changing the songs to try to have a #1 hit or something like that, that's when, you know, what's the point, you know?
What do you mean what's the point? Like if you're
What's the point of, like,
if
being
you're
a band?
sacrificing your integrity?
Yeah, if we were sitting here like shit, you know, these songs, man, these aren't going to give us a #1, but why don't we just try doing this kind of song to try to get a #1 song or something like that? It's just there's no point in us doing that because it's like it just devalues, you know, why we're doing it in the first place, you know. So I mean, I can see why there is a point for bands to do that because they want that, but for us, it would take away so much of the artistic value, so we wouldn't be able to do that.
So if you guys, but there's something to be said about gaining like massive amounts of popularity and success. Some artists go on record and saying they wouldn't even want it. You know, they're like, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of all this press, all this attention. So like, would you have a sweet spot? Like if you could pick the amount of like listens on like a song, like what would be like a sweet spot?
As far as listens, I would say, you know, the sky's the limit. But you know, as far as venues go, I mean, I think it'd be kind of weird if we're playing, you know, Madison Square Garden, but I think playing, you know, 3,000 cap venues would be perfect, you know. So it's, I don't know.
You guys have
said if you could choose between if you could be rich and famous, just choose rich.
What does that mean to you?
So I mean, if it's like the money that comes along with being famous, obviously everyone's gonna want to be like financially stable. So I mean, like if it's like if I had the choice of being rich and famous or just rich, obviously, I mean the fame is like why the fuck if you're doing it for the fame,
that's just attached to being
yeah,
rich.
and it's like there's only I feel like negative connotations with being like super famous. So like why would you want to do that really? Why would you go out just to be famous? And like, I mean, if you're gonna take the positives that come along with that, I'll take the money. Sure, why not?
So the money. So are you saying that the money or that fame usually has more of a negative connotation? You said fame has a negative connotation. So what about money?
I watched the Britney Spears documentary recently, and
that's why. No more questions asked, bro. Britney Spears. I mean, but you already shaved your head, so you're already halfway there.
Very nice. Yeah, it's true.
He's on the rebound. It's okay. I mean,
I'm getting him back.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's Tyler, bitch.
To put close to that thing, it's like, yeah, I mean, the more success you get as a band is anyone is, I mean, I'm sure there's some negative aspects to it, but that's the goal, is to be as successful as you can be without compromising, you know, the core of what we do. So if you can do that, then that's perfect. I think if we're faced with, hey, you guys can be huge right now, but you can't, you know, the songs you're making, that's not going to quite work for us. You're going to have to write songs like this. Then we would have to say, no, that's not for us, you know.
Yeah.
So that goes back into saying, if not wanting to get screwed, you know, you want to maintain as much freedom with the art as possible.
100%, yeah.
We're very protective of our art.
Sure, yeah.
Have you guys had any? Have you guys run into any situations where you found yourselves at a crossroads of being screwed and maintaining your freedom?
A couple of times.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We can't say the specifics, but yeah, we've crossed roads with that stuff where it's like, do we do this and take on this large sum of money for like being like for doing something that we're not fully believing in. Yeah. So yeah, we've come in contact with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm quite happy with our current relationship with our record label for Vicious Pastimes, because we had complete creative freedom and worked very closely figuring out all the details together rather than like a label telling us what to do. So that was really refreshing and beneficial for both parties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so if you guys aren't going to go any specifics, what would you have to say for bands that are wary of this, are aware of this risk, but don't really know what to look out for?
It wasn't even when we came down to the decision, it was never even like a question for it. It wasn't like, well we could do it, blah, blah. It was just like, no, it was a big no for us immediately. So I feel like as long as if you know if you know the answer to the I'm trying to articulate this correctly. If you know I'm not trying to say that. One second. Let me rephrase that. It was very easy for us to say no to these things. So any advice that I would have for anyone would be to just, it sounds cheesy, but follow your heart. If it feels wrong, it's definitely wrong, and just don't do it. If it's going to compromise your art, then don't fucking do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, but hey, some people aren't aware of like certain tactics these guys have. Like, so I mean, these guys have very like silver tongues. These guys will make you will make your heart feel a certain way. So well, there's got to be something else to it, to why, because you guys come off as like the kind that like you guys just like instantly saw it. You may not were able to articulate it, but you saw something in those people that gave the red flag. What was it?
I think as a general, maybe this is more mysterious, but like no one's going to do anything for you that you can't really do yourself. So if something seems too good to be true, or something's like, hey, there's always going to be, there's always going to be a backlash to whether it be getting a lot of money up front to do a record or whatever it is.
Like what's
that's not always the case, but I mean,
they're gonna want that money back.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, I don't know. I think just if newer bands like focus on putting out quality material and this trying to keep it as
DIY.
as
possible.
DIY and as like closely protected as possible, you'll start to see success, if your songs are good enough, and if you're not seeing success after a while, but someone says, hey, maybe you do this, it will work. It's probably not going to work. You should be able to do it yourself before you need any outside help. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're not, making money yourself as a band and you're not kind of doing it right, there's no point in paying someone else to come in to help you make more money, because if you're not making money by yourself anyway, then you should have no business, having other people put their hands in your pockets too, So it's like, get it going yourself and wait till you get to a point where, you're like, I really want to do this, but I don't have either the resources to do it or the time, whatever. But no one's gonna build you from the ground, from zero to here. You have to do most of the work yourself. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, if someone is offering to fill in like an area that you lack, something that you can't do, if someone is willing to take that on, it's usually a no-go deal.
Well, not always. It's, I guess.
I think you just have to think about it from like if they're offering to do something for you, what are they going to get out of it? Like,
I think
maybe it's exposure, but maybe it's like not. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's too much hand on your creative product that you're about to put out. Or
yeah, and there's so many situations. It just always have you got to have your guard up all the time, and as closely examine everything as possible, because there's no such thing as someone saying, hey, we're gonna bring you to the top, and you guys don't have to worry about anything, because that's usually not going to work out. Just plan on doing it. Plan on, if you go into the mindset of the band and plan on doing it 100% yourself, just only focus on that.
Everything else will be gravy after that.
Yeah, and then you get to a point where you're starting to work and you're seeing some success, whatever. Then you might say, hey, maybe should I get help from a label? Should I look into getting management? And then you got to ask yourself why. Well, what are they going to do for me that I can't do for myself? It's because sometimes it's I should go with that, or sometimes it's no, I shouldn't. It depends. Every situation is different. So
this is kooky because I've been reading a bunch of literature on power, like what it means to have power in life. And there's this thing called the cardinal rule. And it says the person who has the most power in relationships is the person who needs the other one the least. So that's interesting that you bring that up when you say that like if you need a record label to get you exposure, if you need a record label to make good music videos for you or to make nice merch for you, they have the power in that essence. You can't really leave without sacrificing that aspect of yourself, that quality.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, obviously what we explained before, it's like we do everything ourselves just because that's how that's how we do things. And good thing we did, because what if, we said we trusted someone else with their vision. Oh, we're going to pay for you to have a music video done by this person and blah, blah, blah. It's like, now your vision didn't get put onto screen. Your vision didn't get put onto the record because someone else paid for it. So now they have power over it, and now you don't even own the rights to your own music. So it's like, what do you have?
So do you guys own the rights to your own music right now, or is it for the record label?
100%.
100%. We own our own.
Which record label do you guys go to?
Avant Records,
Avant Records. Is that based in Boston?
Italy.
Italy.
Italy. How'd you get a hold of these guys?
Started talking a while ago, just back and forth. It takes time with labels, but we were chatting back and forth, and it finally worked out. And so let's do a record. So it worked out great.
Yeah.
And it works out good for us because we basically, we take care of all the American stuff, and then they take care of the European stuff. So it's basically like, we have a partnership that makes sense for us. So it's like, we get our records right from the factory, as do they. We have a deal with them, whatever. But then we take care of all the,
Oops, someone's got some tea. Did I hear a tea kettle?
It's
my
just
heater.
It's the heater.
Oh, it's the heater. I was like, oh, you guys making some tea without me? I should get my own.
So it's like, we kind of have, control over, what stuff that happens in America, and we will take care of fulfill orders and stuff. And, they can kind of take care of the European and rest of the world stuff. So we're kind of, if we could have had two labels, and an American label press it and, a European label, but then where does that leave us? They're selling records, the label selling records, and then you're just kind of sitting there like, can't go on tour. We kind of worked it so
we had to narrow it down to just us, just the label, and just the record.
It's like for events
and nobody else.
Yeah,
it's like very, very easy for us to manage.
For a band to make money, especially without being able to play shows, it's like you need to be shipping boxes every week, shipping out orders. That's how you do it,
Yeah.
So until further notice, you're more of like mailmen than band members.
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
it's
We're like
but we also have to
crazy.
create the
Yeah.
create the
We
content.
create the
that-
mail too.
You have to create the mail, and we have
We're
to.
writing the letters and then licking them, and then we're
And then we're receiving them as well.
People forget it all, and it all goes to, back to the songs. If you don't make a good record and it doesn't resonate with people, they're not going to buy the record. They're not going to buy their shirts. They're not going to do they're not
we're
going to
not
do
mailing
shit.
shit.
So it's like we definitely have a good balance of focusing on the songs and the other part of it. So
That's interesting. Because like I didn't even think of it like that because really people, I mean, on the audience, any random passerby on Spotify is going to see you and be like, oh, these guys are cool. Like, they got the singer, the guitarist, and the synth guy, the synth god, and then they don't even realize that behind the scenes, you guys are just unofficial USPS workers until further notice. Until COVID stops, like you guys are just shipping boxes and letters.
I mean, that's great though, because some bands, it's like, they get a record press and then the label controls it all. They're not getting the most of what they could get. You have to get creative. That's why it's kind of COVID was good for us to start, because we're starting from zero and focusing on the financial aspect aside from playing shows. So it's like now we just doing our own distribution in America and stuff like that. That's how we could do it ourselves, or we could have another company do it, and they're going to make more. They're going to make the money off us, and then our check will be cut into a third of what it is. So it's just being creative and setting something up for that makes sense. So
that makes sense, yeah, and it makes sense for you guys because this all comes back to the central theme of keeping your vision as close to what you want as possible.
Right, 100%.
So because this record label is in Italy, right? Because it's there, do you have like an Italian fan base?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We have a good European, especially Germany, and Russia is actually pretty big. But yeah, it's nice because if we didn't have that, European label to be shipping out records, it's like, it's tough for people to expect people to buy a record that costs $20 and spend $35 just to get it shipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy we have the way we have it set up works really well for us. Because we're getting our records and stuff to the people that want it, and it's not charging them an arm and a leg. So
It's true.
What do you mean charge them an arm and leg?
like if someone from Italy, if we didn't have an Italian label, but someone from Italy wanted the record, it's very expensive to ship a record over to Italy. You know what I mean?
From here, yeah.
And they
From
have to pay
here,
that.
yeah, and they have to pay for that. So it's like instead of being able to buy the record for $25, now it's like $60 just to get a record. So it leaves a lot off the table if you don't have some kind of European distribution set up for the fans.
See, you guys got the social media aspect, the publicity aspect in the bag. You guys have roots in Italy. You guys have all this huge. It should be bigger, but really it's very professional sleek looking social media presence.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
Do you guys are you guys expecting? I mean, I'm trying to wrap my head around why you guys don't have as big of a following as I think you guys should. Like it should be in the millions by this
Well,
point.
yeah, I mean, I think our debut record was released 6 months ago, 7 months ago. So it hasn't really been a lot of time. I mean, it's still, and we're going just off of word of mouth, and but without even playing in front of people. You know, on tours when you really, you know, you sell a lot of merch and really get real fans. That's been off the table for us, so we haven't been able to do that. You know.
But hey, some people are saying fuck it and just doing shows regardless. Have you thought about that? Just like being like a little like rule breaking like just
No.
House of Harm.
No, that's no interest for us. I mean, we're just focused on writing music. I think it's kind of, you know, what are you gonna get out of it? You know, like
You're gonna be known as the band who did that.
Yeah, you're gonna be if we're gonna be
And it's just like
it kills people. That's
yeah, it's like obviously there's a reason why you can't have shows, and you know, it's not gonna give us. I think if we did do something like that for whatever wild reason, I think the regret of doing that would weigh much heavier than the reward of playing the show to 10 people.
Have you guys thought about doing? Because I've seen some people get creative with live shows, and there's been some like Instagram live shows. There's been some. There was one. Are you familiar with Vada Vada and the Garden?
I know the Garden, yeah.
The Garden, yeah, no, the Garden. The Garden. I think it was the Garden's one of the singer's girlfriends did a live show on Minecraft. Had a Minecraft server, and you know, had little DJs that had everyone come in as their Minecraft avatars and just dance to the music.
Wow.
Just put it on the mic, really, like as simple as just putting it on a computer mic
Yeah.
and sending people a link.
Yeah,
Have you guys thought about something like that?
we did 2 live streams, but just for the sake of like, you know, quality control and things we put out, we didn't really want to do the whole, you know, Instagram live because it just doesn't sound good. You know, it's just like for me, it's like it's not going to be as good as seeing it live in person, and it's not going to be as good as listening to it on Spotify. So you know, it's
Hands down.
But we did one. And what was that over the summertime? We did 2 live streams. Then we did the first one was for for Once Ballroom, and then we did one for Cult Nation a few months ago, which is great. So we again we filmed it all ourselves and everything like that. And
You even filmed those?
yeah,
Those ones you guys?
yeah, we were it was
the partner that we used for music videos came and did like a filmed us playing as well.
yeah. So we kind of
okay.
So we kind of like had it all laid out. We got our set down, and we just kind of had the vision and said, well, instead of doing the typical, you know, put your camera on your phone or whatever like that, we didn't want to put out, you know, garbage really. So we figured we'll do this as like a, you know, more of a professional level filmed thing and just record it and then edit it pretty quickly, and came up pretty good.
So you guys really are sticking to the quality over quantity mantra. You know, you guys don't. Because I mean, a lot of people. Not to say that what Cowgirl Clue was doing was garbage. You know, that is very creative and you know, and interesting to do so. But
everything has its place. Yeah.
Everything what?
I said everything has its place. You know, for some artists, like going on Instagram Live and like that gives their fans a lot of reward and everything like that. I think with our kind of music and our aesthetic as a band, this has made more sense for us to kind of pre-record something and have it be presented in a different way than that, you know. So what we did worked best for us. That's why we chose to do it that way.
Yeah. How recent ago was that live show, the Cult Nation?
5 months ago.
4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, it was towards the end of summer, I think, right? Or isn't it?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
How did they agree to that? Because I know a lot of people are very tentative about booking things because of COVID. Was it an easy sort of thing to schedule?
What do you mean, for the venue or for the people that were streaming it?
For Cult Nation, you know, just being there in their space.
Oh, that was our space. We did it at home. So
that was you guys.
Yeah. So it was a little bit easier. So they just sent us an email and said, hey, do you guys want to do a live stream? We'll host it basically for you. We'll do the press around it. So we just had to turn in a final video to them. That's all we had to do.
Yeah.
So we did it ourselves. You know, I think I'm sure there have been situations where, going into like a live, more of a like KXP type of thing might be a little bit weird if you don't have a huge budget, you know what I mean? Like big, network TV and stuff, they can afford to, get everyone COVID tested and do the whole social distancing and stuff. But small, post-punk type of things don't really have that kind of budget to do it safely. So we just did it ourselves, filmed it ourselves, and then sent it in.
Interesting.
True.
Hey, actually, really quick. If you guys had a fuck, marry, and kill of yourselves, including yourselves, who would they be? Let's go down the line. I'll start with Michael. Fuck, marry, kill. You're a part of it. Of House of Harm.
I'll kill myself. and we'll get that out of the way first. I don't have to worry about the other two.
I was gonna say I'd do all three to myself.
Fuck Mike, marry Tyler, kill Mike, fuck Cooper, marry Tyler.
We'll go the other way on that one.
All right. What's the resentment with Mike? Did he like?
Just kill Mike.
He stole a guitar riff from me.
He wants to be dead anyway.
Yeah, he's already he's made a decision. He wants to kill himself, so I'm just helping him along.
Well, hey, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. I hope you guys get the success that you guys deserve. Really, like you guys, this sound needs to be heard by multiple people. I'm still gonna be banging it on my JBL when I go out.
Like I said in the beginning, add them to your playlist. The Vibe would appreciate it. Check out their merch at houseofharm.com. They make their own graphics and look better than what you're wearing, that's for sure. And thank you to those who stayed until the end of the interview. And also thank you to those who even checked it out. Show them some love as well. And also to Michael, Tyler, and Cooper for giving us their time. The interview process is a strange one, but it's slowly becoming more natural. This is Otto signing out.